So, members of Uganda Parliamentary Press Association, this is the resolution of today's caucus meeting. We members of the NRM Parliamentary Caucus, sitting in Entebbe today, 12 September 2025, having warmly received the keynote address delivered to us by His Excellency the President, hereby resolve as follows. 1. To warmly congratulate His Excellency General Retired Yoweri Kaguta Museveni on his endorsement and election by the NRM and its structures as NRM National Chairperson and as NRM Presidential Candidate 2026. 2. To receive the congratulations of the NRM National Chairperson to the entire NRM membership from the historical audit of the membership register starting 6 May 2025 through the internal massive democratic exercise to date, challenges notwithstanding. 3. To join our leaders in removing the pollutants, what the chairman referred to as okutokoza, as for example, the unmitigated and immoral use of money, electoral malpractices like altering results, etc., etc. 4. To robustly support the wealth creation efforts of our people and minimize extortion in all its forms. 5. To having received the report of the Minister of Local Government to support the creation of Mukuju District, Mulanda District, Kisoko District, and Tororo City in the financial year 2025-2026, subject to the law. 6. To support the creation of Bughendera District out of Bundibugyo District in the financial year 2025-2026, subject to the law. 7. To handle the creation of other districts, cities, and municipalities subsequently in the period 2026-2031. I submit.
They are correct. Ronald, the one of Wakiso. Wakiso was created into a city on the 28th of April 2020. You were here. Government created 15 cities, including the city of Wakiso and the city of Entebbe, the city of Nakasongola, the city of Masaka. All these are in the central region. So when you say Uganda is excluded, no. Masaka is operational. It's the others which are not. There are 5. Kabale, Moroto, Entebbe, Wakiso, Nakasongola. So I don't foresee a situation where you want to split Wakiso into a district when it's already created by Parliament as a city. The question now is how to make it functional, how to make it operational, distinguish between creation and operationalization. So the challenge has been funding, but also the challenge now may be agreeing on the demarcations and the divisions of these 5 cities. So the resolution today and the guidance of the President is that we are going to put them in the second category. So category 1 will be the districts which need urgent creation. And these are Tororo and Bundibugyo. And in Tororo, we're going to create the 3 districts which he has mentioned, Mukuju, Mulanda, and Kisoko. Now, in the meeting, we got a bit of disagreement whether it should be Kisoko or Nagongera. I'm going to meet the leaders of Tororo on Tuesday at 10 to sort this out. And for Bundibugyo, we're going to create the district of Bughendera. Bughendera is up in the mountains. And this is because they have issues of identity. The Bakonzo vis-a-vis the Bamba, vis-a-vis the Buisi, and a bit of friction, sometimes very violent. The last time I was in Bundibugyo to meet the Mudinja, I found that very day they had killed 3 people. And you know what is in Tororo. So that's category 1, districts which, because of these socio-political challenges, require that we immediately address the problem. Now, the second category, those which all have other ethnic issues and boundaries and geography, they are big, and terrain, there's a lot of difference between the people up in the mountain, those down, and so on. And that's category 2. The president has said we'll then consider them in the next lot after these first ones. So I hope that Wakiso and the other cities, Nakasongola, Entebbe, Kabale, Moroto, will be handled. Edward, the issue of the administrative burden of creation of these local governments, yes, there's no doubt it has a cost, but it also has an advantage. And the advantage is embedded in the Constitution, Article 179. Unless you are telling us that when that article is met in terms of the wishes of the people, the geography, administrative efficiency, service delivery, communication, and all the other factors, the population. Yes, Uganda remains finite, but the population keeps increasing, and they need services. Now, once I get a council resolution from a district, then my responsibility is to carry out a technical study, and that's what the chief whip advised any of those who are coming. We have to carry out a technical study. Then, when I realize that it is viable, I present it to cabinet, and it comes to parliament. That process is within the law, and we are simply meeting the law. So don't look at only one side, that there is a burden. Yes, there is a burden, but there is also an advantage. People want services closer to them. The population of Uganda is increasing. Urbanization is increasing at a faster rate than any other country in Africa, 5.3% annually. And you know very well, you leave home, you go back after 3 months, a small town has grown into a trading center. It's our responsibility as government to upscale it from a town board to a town council, from a town council to a municipality, from a municipality to a city, to improve physical planning, governance, so as to avoid slums, so as to avoid unplanned areas. So this is within the law, and that's what we're doing. Fred, leaders for the new local governments, if we do that, you're saying smaller districts are not helpful. Where are you carrying out this study? I'm in local government for 30 years. And we have evidence to show that some of these local governments have moved extremely fast compared to those which were there. And they are doing well on service delivery. They are doing well on health, on education. So it's not the question of small districts. It's a question of the level of governance and administration. Are we going to have leaders elected? I hope you heard the resolution very well. To be created subject to the law. And the question should be, what does the law say? We have the Local Government Act, Section 7, I think subsection 13. A district created after an election, after general election, shall take effect 6 months prior to the next election. So a district like now, Tororo, creating Mulanda District after the last general election should take effect 6 months prior to the next election of January 2026. That's why we are talking about deeming it to have been created in July. Now, is that accepted? That's why we say the Electoral Commission will handle that together with the Attorney General. The other law is the Electoral Commission Act, I think Section 21, subsection 2, which provides that when you create a district, I think somebody must have mentioned that, when the electoral processes have already begun, that district will become an electoral district in the subsequent elections. But that does not stop us from creating it. Rachel, and the districts don't have headquarters. You have a point. And if we are going to create municipalities, I know it very well. I have the file. The one which qualifies first is Luwero. When you look at the level of development, the level of urbanization, the level of revenue, local revenue of Luwero, town council now. Actually, many people, when you go through Luwero, you think it's a municipality. The population, the growth of the structures and so on. And I like to thank the mayor there. He's called Buembo. He's worshipped Buembo. We call them worship when they become municipalities, but you know, a big town like that, give him his credit. Yeah. They have done well. So the president has directed that in addition to the new districts, we also include the municipalities which qualify. It's not a question of saying we have, Mr. Minister, we sent you a resolution, we want. No, it's not wanting. We have parameters. And so I want to give comfort to the people of Luwero that I have your resolution requesting for a municipality, and it does qualify. We have others, like Liantonde, like Dokoro, like Bundibugyo, like my own home, Chamunga, and others, which I know that, yes, on an objective assessment, they do qualify. So they'll be handled under category 2. The cities are still limping. No, they are not limping. I tell you, I look at the money they had as municipalities vis-a-vis their budgets today. The budgets have grown. I can give you the example. Arua City, as a municipality, its local revenue was, I think, around 1.3 billion. Today, the local revenue of Arua City is close to 10 billion, and as well as the others. So, well, we may not have done what some people expected. It seems some people expect that when you create a city, it should immediately be like Kampala capital city. No, it can't. It will take a little bit of time. And we are happy. I'm happy with the development of the new cities. We had a challenge of one, getting the districts to have their own homes. These districts which created cities, like Mbarara, Jinja, Fort Portal, Mbale. But as I speak now, Cabinet approved the new town councils because the law requires that the headquarters of a district must be a town. A town meaning either town council or a municipality. The city is a district, so you cannot have a district within a district. The district must shift to its area of jurisdiction. So as I speak now, all the 10 districts, we've already agreed on where they are going to relocate to. And we have already gazetted them as towns. And immediately we did that. We provided 1 billion shillings to each of these districts to construct their new headquarters. And I see them. I see Katine in Soroti, or I think a very big building. I see Usoro in Kabarole, a very big, powerful building. They are doing it. The one which delayed was Masaka. Masaka delayed because we still had a bit of confusion between two venues, Chanamkak and Buwunga. But Cabinet approved Chanamkak, and they are going. Now, in that case, the money had already been swept back to the Treasury. We're following it out. so that it can be reverted to Masaka so that they construct their headquarters. So the issues you pointed out, for me, they are being